here is a 9x12 canvas. And I just added, like I said before, add a little bit of white, covered the whole canvas. Then I had just a couple of tiny drops. Hey Sheila, hey Kim. A couple of tiny drops of this French blue. And I just took a brush and wiggled some of the blue in just for a little bit of a sky background. I should have done it the opposite, but my brain has been on fire since yesterday's little fiasco. So yes, Cheryl, just hold on, Cheryl. We're going to talk about how much kits cost for you guys over on the other page, okay? So this is all dry now, and what I did was I took my little pencil and kind of sketched out just a few hearts just to kind of get a general feeling for where I wanted to create my big blob of red, because that's kind of what I'm going to do. And then we're going to let that dry and come back and trace out the hearts. So it's going to be kind of crazy. Just hang with me. I hope that this is going to turn out the way it is in my head. So thank you for sprinkling. Love you guys. So yeah, hold on to your hat. That's what I always used to tell my kids when they were little. Hold on to your hat. So the first thing I have is this Anita's Red. This is just really inexpensive craft store paint from Hobby Lobby. So I know I have a dirty plate, but I'm going to use it because I like to use them till they're used up. So I'm going to put some of this red on my plate. And then I want a darker version, okay? Somebody tell Julie how to sprinkle. Sprinkle girl. So I am going to add a little bit of a darker color. I'm trying to decide what color that's going to be. That's not it. We're not using that one. Just want a little bit of a darker color, and you'll see why in just a second. Let's see. There, maybe that's it. Okay, and this is Americana Napa Red. Napa Red. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is very sloppily add red in to these areas where I've traced out my hearts. Okay, so I'm not even going to try to like be in the lines and make it all nice because I want it to be super abstract, super messy. And, you know, it's very simple for you guys to do. So I'm using a 1/2-inch brush. I'm going to wet this just a little, and then I'm going to make sure and get most of that water out of my brush because red paint is hard to deal with sometimes because it ends up being translucent because adding too much pigment in red kind of breaks down the binders. So if you have a super wet brush, that just makes it even more translucent. Thank you for all the sprinkles. You guys are some sprinkling girls. You guys are some sprinkling girls. Okay, I don't know. I got nothing. Okay, so I am just going to go in here and I am just, you see what I'm doing? I'm just making a little bit of a mess. Messy, messy. We're going to have to dry this too, or it's going to be 6 days. This old red. Super abstract, guys. Nothing terribly fancy about it. Okay? So I'm happy, I think, with that. I may put a little bit more in a couple of places. Let's put one more right here. So I basically just made a few heart-shaped, no stress involved, no, perfection, no trying to make every little brush stroke just right. Just get some hearts blobbed up all over the place on your canvas. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put this in my water. This is, it is True Red, yes. Anita's True Red. We put this in my water, and now what I'm gonna do, remember I put this darker red on my canvas? That was the Napa Red by Americana. I'm gonna take an old palette knife, just a little old pointy plastic palette knife, and I'm gonna dip it into my darker version of red. And you see I just really have a very small amount on my palette knife. It's not blobbed on too much. And all I want to do is give some of these reds a little bit of extra flav, okay? So I'm just going to come in, and we may do a little red back over the top. That was a little darker than I expected, but that's okay too. I just want to add a little extra color over the top of some of these hearts. And notice I'm still just being very abstract. I'm not trying to be perfect. Lord knows I'm not. Okay, now I'm going to wipe that off. I think, Napa Red Americana. Yeah, Napa Red Americana. All right, let me wipe that off before it gets on my pants. I have on new pants. I should have changed, but yes. So now I'm just going to kind of go back. Hey, Leanne, how are you? Hello. Yeah, it's Americana. I may have said Deco Art, but it is Americana, Napa Red. So now I'm going to go right back into my Anita's True Red and just do it again. Just go over, whoops. And this, doing it this way, gives it a super, very abstract look, but it also makes the paint a little thicker. So it's gonna take a hot minute to dry, but that's okay too. Right? I have a hair dryer prepared, so we can chat about some things while it's drying. It shouldn't take but a few minutes. So that is it. That's all I'm gonna do right now. Okay, you wipe this off. So what we have here is just a bunch of big blobs of red, okay? It's pretty thick in a couple of spots. So what I'm gonna do really quick is walk over to the other side of the room and turn the hair dryer on this. And then we can, so there we go. So this is our cute little art heart blob, okay? So we use the Napa and the True Red just to make some blobs. Now I kind of want to outline them so that you can tell that they're hearts. So I am going to use, let me see if I can decide what I'm going to use. Let's see. I have a couple of pen options, but I think this is the one. Yes, it is heart balloons. That is exactly what's about to happen. This is a Faber-Castell Pitt pen. It is SB, which means it's kind of like a calligraphy pen. You're fine with my shirt. It's kind of like a calligraphy pen. You can see that it has a long point. I can't find my hand. There it is. It has a long, flexible point so that you can make, if you press really lightly, you can make small lines, but then the harder you press, the fatter your lines can get. See that? Let up, press down. So that's kind of what that is. It's like a calligraphy pen, and it's archival quality, so it will not run when the resin goes over it, okay? So I am just going to very sloppily, not gonna be trying to be perfect, outline some of these hearts, okay? So I'm just gonna start with the ones that are the most obvious, and I'm not going to like make perfect heart shapes either. I'm gonna make a couple of lines, maybe another short line, some dots, connect it. See what I did there? Let's see. So I'm just going to trace out some of my hearts. Overlapping, So it's literally just a huge bouquet of heart. There's a big blob of wet red right there. Heart balloons. Let's see, I'm gonna do one like right here and one here. So now we have a bunch of heart shapes formulated on our big blob of art. My picture is very blurry. Is yours blurry? I'm gonna keep my hands away for a second, see if it'll focus in. Can you guys see that? Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, so I've outlined all my little hearts. See? Very messy too, nothing too fancy about it. But now I gotta make them into balloons, right? Awesome, glad it is. I guess it's just me. Might be my terrible eyesight. So now I'm gonna make some balloon strings. And all I'm gonna do is start. Okay, I'm gonna start at the top because the top ones have balloon strings too, but I don't wanna drag them all right through the middle because I want the ones that are kind of pushed in the back, their balloon strings to be in the back too. Okay, so I'm gonna assume that this is a frontal balloon, so I'm gonna come down, let's see, start about right here and give that string. Then we're actually gonna take this one right over the top of that heart and string. Now we'll do this one. So we want every balloon to have a string. This one. This one. Now we'll start back over here. This one. This one. This one's kind of crazy, but we're gonna go right here with it. Then here. And here. There we are. So it's either heart flowers or heart balloons. I'm gonna give each one just a little bit. The ones that are touching, that are in the very front, and we'll give them some of that little wiggle wiggle where the balloon is tied together at the bottom. This one. So voila. Oh my goodness. I love it. So now all I'm gonna do, I don't wanna put glass on every single heart because then it loses its abstractness. It loses all that abstract feel that we have going. So I'm gonna pick one heart. I'm gonna pick one heart and it's gonna be this one. And I am gonna take my glue, which is the Aleene's clear tacky glue, and I am gonna add a little bit of glue all the way around the edge of this heart. I'm gonna try to keep inside the black. So I'm gonna add that glue, and I'm actually gonna take, since the glass that I'm using is smaller than what I normally use, I'm actually gonna take a little brush, get it a little bit wet, get some of that moisture out, and I'm gonna spread that glue around because I don't want it to be super thick where it's gonna take forever to dry because we do need to resin this, but I want to spread it out enough that it's a thin coat of glue. It holds all my glass together and it's not gonna be wet for 3 days. So one heart, you can pick more than one, but I'm just gonna do one. And then I'm gonna take my little cup. I'm gonna get some of this glass out, and this is tiny little red glass that I showed you guys the other day when we were making the other heart. So I'm just gonna pop a little bit of that on there. And then I'm gonna use my palette knife to just kind of push it. You can use your fingers, but I find it wants to stick to your fingers sometimes. I'm just gonna push it in, make sure all the glass is inside my little heart shape. And then we are ready. Super simple, not much to it, but the one little heart being glass gives it a really great impact, I think. So now we need to do resin. So I'm going to push this up a little bit in front of me, and I'm going to pull my resin out here. Now this is a 9x12, but I'm fairly certain 1 ounce of resin is more than enough. It's probably going to be too much, but that's okay. I could put it on something else. So I'm going to mix a 1/2 ounce of part A and a 1/2 ounce of part B. Now all I have are these great big 1-gallon containers, so I'm going to be super slow and easy about it. But what I use is art resin. Most of you guys know that. So I use art resin exclusively for my art pieces. Art resin is a 50-50. Yes, it's going to look gorgeous once the resin goes on. Art resin is a 50-50 mixture. And it has to be measured, not weighed. So we're going to mix 50% resin, 50% hardener. It's a 2-part epoxy for those who aren't familiar with it. So I'm going to find my 1/2 ounce mark right there. Is that the 1/2 ounce? Yes. Actually, I'm going to try a 1/4 ounce. I feel good about it, which would be a 1/2 ounce total. I feel good. You trust me? Let's see. I'm going to try it. Because that big bumblebee only took 1 ounce, and there's not near as much glass on this. So we're going to do this big old bucket. I hate these big jars. We're going to do... Let's see. Well, Colette, you could add glass to as many as you want. I personally just wanted to add to 1 just for, I don't know, I just did. But you could totally add as many as you wanted. I just like that 1 pop surprise of glass. Okay, so that is a 1/4 ounce of resin, part A. And in my other cup, I'm going to do, I feel good about it, I'm going to do a 1/4 ounce. Yeah, but I like it. Patricia, I do it, I add the glass. And I know, Louise. Sometimes it makes me nervous too, but it's when you're have a small area to work with and this table is kind of janky. So I'm going to take my chances. Sometimes I like to have resin on the top, that holds from the top down. Who asked me that? Patricia? Because sometimes the pieces can be sharp, and if you pour the resin and then put the glass on top, it doesn't coat those top pieces. And, sometimes they won't stick, or sometimes they might cut somebody if you don't have the resin on the top. Okay, so I think that's a 1/4. We're going to let it rest. See if it can reach itself up. I know I do it all the time. I'm crazy that way. Living life on the edge. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it like this. But remind me after I'm done mixing to put my blocks under so that we don't glue this piece down. I don't think we're going to have that problem, but we'll make sure we do it anyway. So what I'm going to do, I'm still working over the top of my resin, making all my girls nervous. I'm going to pour part A into part B. It doesn't matter which one you pour in to which. Just make sure one's part A and one's part B. You don't want to mess that up. That's how you end up with a stinking mess of an art piece that will never dry. That's a piece of garbage. Okay, so I'm going to scrape out every drop that I can out of my little measuring cup and put it in. And then we're going to stir this very gently, very sweetly for 3 minutes. Okay, so I got all I can out. I'm gonna set that aside. Hey, Debbie. And so now I'm gonna stir this for 3 minutes, okay? So I'm not gonna beat it to death. I'm not gonna whip it. I'm not going to like try to, just stir it really fast. The faster you stir and the more you whip air into it, the more bubbles you're gonna be fighting at the end of your resin pour. So we're gonna keep our stirring to a minimal. We're just gonna stir, scrape our sides, scrape the bottom, make sure everything is mixed. We're gonna do this for 3 minutes, and Miss Rima is timing me and will let me know when those 3 minutes are up. So yeah, guys, I'm super excited. I don't know why. Lately, I'm super excited about everything. I have said super excited, super fun, super this, super that, and I am honestly getting on my own damn nerves. I'm getting on my nerves with the super stuff. So, I'm sorry, Maddie. That's okay. You can go back and watch the replay. I would show you what we did, but it's in the other room. I actually am gifting it to a friend. So, but the replay's out there somewhere. It was on Sunday that I did that. I missed yesterday because we had a family emergency here. Everything's fine, no worries. So I'm continuing to stir. So, hey V, you're very welcome. I'm glad to have you. I recognize your name. I know that you're here a lot. I appreciate you. I appreciate all you guys. I appreciate you new people who are just here for the first time, people who've just started watching, and I appreciate all you loyal people who come hang out with me on the regular. You guys make it all worthwhile for me, for sure. Y'all are why I keep doing it. So keep watching. You're pretty super. I'm telling you, I'm on my own nerves with that. Now it's like I hear it in my head, and I'm like, stop saying that. It's crazy. It's crazy. So I'm super excited to be presenting our Super Bumblebee for our 5-day challenge that starts February 17th. And once we're off here, I'm going to post the picture and all the information. And I just want to remind you that if you are in my private group, the Shattered Circle membership group, do not click any link that I'm posting on Art Shattered. I have a special link just for you. That's the bennies of being in the Shattered Circle. So do not do not order off the link unless it's the one I give you in the private group tomorrow. Okay? Thank you. Thanks for listening. Oh, Rima, are you done? Yay! Time is up. So here's what I like to do first. First, I'm going to put my blocks under. And I have to scooch over. I have to find my seam. My seam is right here. So I have to make sure I'm over a little bit from the seam of my table, dadgummit, so that my table is level. Aw, super excited, super annoying. Okay, so what I like to do first is you're super excited to do the bee? Yay, Sandra! I'm super excited too. We're all crazy. So what I like to do first is cover my glass, okay? So let's get some glass. Drizzle, drizzle, drizzle. And this glass is pretty small, so I'm going to be very gentle and just very small bits of resin at a time so that it doesn't like move and spread out. Catherine, I'm not sure what time. It's probably going to be around maybe 1 or 2 o'clock. I have to go and get my driver's license tomorrow, so who knows at the DMV how long it's going to be. But you can always watch the replay and watch for the post if you miss it. Just want to make sure none of you guys use the links that I'm posting on my public page, because you guys are special and y'all get special things. So make sure you don't use any link that is not on the Shattered Circle page. Okay, so I've covered that one heart with all the resin. So now all I'm going to do is just dump the rest onto my canvas. And even the 1/2 ounce was too much, guys. Watch this. I'm going to set this down because it still has a little stuff in it. And I want to see how far it goes. Yep, got to do it. I hate going to the DMV though. Oh my Lord, those people are nuts. So now what I'm doing is all the resin that I just kind of spread out around the flat portion of my canvas that doesn't have glass, I'm just spreading it with my fingers so that all the resin covers just that top surface, because it's going to really make the colors pop and make your canvas look finished. Okay, I might be using all that. Hang on. 1/2 ounce, guys. 1/2 ounce for this piece. Y'all know I'm the queen of that. I don't like wasting no resin. Might run out of kits. Yeah, I have 50. Actually, I might have a few more than that, because I think I have some. I ordered 50 kits, 50 resin kits from Art Resin, but I can't help but think that I still have 5 or 6 resin kits from our Angel Challenge in a box somewhere in moving craziness. Probably in my little spare bedroom right across from this room here that I do my art in is where I have about 20 boxes that have still not been unpacked. So, and a lot of those are like art supplies and things, product. So I'm pretty sure I have some. So I might end up with a few more than 50 kits, but I can't promise that. So if you want a kit, I'm going to post the link as soon as we're done here and all the information. So if you want a kit, you better get them now, because they always go fast, because it is a super great deal. Super great. Oh my God. I'm on my own nerves. Okay, so all of my glass is covered really nicely. I'm looking at my art piece kind of from the side. So I can see that my entire canvas is covered. There's no skippies, no little pits or holes where there's not any resin. So now I'm going to take these sticky old gloves off, and very carefully, because I have a bracelet on I forgot about, and I don't want to pop that resin in my face. So I'm going to that's right, waste not, want not. They do go like hotcakes. I should order more than 50, but I'm always scared that that'll be the time that I won't sell them all, and it makes me so nervous, because buying that resin is not cheap. If you enhanced driver's license, you'll have to get a new one. Oh, I can't see what all that says. I'll have to come back and look at that. Okay, so guys, now what we're going to do is pop those bubbles that were created by mixing. We're going to do that with our torch, okay? So this is just a benzomatic torch. You can use a kitchen torch. You can use a heat gun, anything like that. The main goal is not to let the flame touch your art piece, because it is the heat that pops these bubbles, not the flame. The flame will burn your resin, and you won't know it for a few days until one of your little one spot in your beautiful little art piece suddenly starts turning yellow. So keep the flame off. If I miss questions, I'll come back and answer those later after the live's over. So you want to keep your flame off your art piece, and you want to keep your heat moving at all times. You don't want to stop and focus on one spot. You want to keep that moving constantly. Move, move, move. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Because you're just warming up that resin with the heat from the flame, not the flame itself. And that's what pops all those bubbles. And that's good enough right there. So what you can do is let this sit and rest for about 15 minutes. And then if you come back and look at it and you see that maybe there are a few more bubbles still that you don't, more bubbles still than you like, you can hit it with that torch one more time. Just always remember, I love to watch the bubbles pop. Thank you for sprinkling. Always remember the two big deals about torching. One is never let the flame touch your canvas. And two is always keep your hands moving so that you are not burning your canvas. I love this. I love that we only did one heart. You can do as many as you want. Oh my goodness.